Hi, this is Gloria, your life coach. Welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson, your life coach, leadership coach, and motivational speaker. So, welcome to another episode of Life's a Shuffle. So, today we're going to do something a little different. We have no topic. I'm going to call this Freestyle Thursday. It means Gloriana is going to talk about what's going on in our weekly life, and maybe you guys want to comment below when I post or not, but it's just talking, right? Because sometimes you just need to talk about what's going on, what's happening in your life. So, Gloria, tell me something that's exciting happening this week for you.
Well, really exciting that had happened that started this week was when our county had eased up on outdoor activities. So we started volleyball camp this week. And at the moment, because the gyms are still closed, so we're currently doing sand volleyball, kind of like beach volleyball. We have a court or two courts that are out where we are in the city we're at, where we coach, have two sand courts where we have the girls and boys out there and just teaching them basics of outdoor volleyball or beach volleyball, basic rules. And, because there's different rules between the indoor and outdoor volleyball. And the good thing about this too is what I'm really excited about is seeing all these girls who had progressed from day one of this camp to now. And I've seen a potential that when they go back in the court indoor, they're going to feel the difference. So much difference. They'll be stronger. They'll be lighter on their feet. They'll be moving around more and jumping more. So this is actually really good. So it's been really great and it's been fun and just being out there, although it's hot, but I'm enjoying it. It's kind of nice to see people out too.
Isn't that so exciting just to see people's faces, and for you seeing kids' faces are smiling, happy, and obviously you're a volleyball coach, so you're doing something you really enjoy doing.
Oh yeah, I mean it brought back a lot of happiness, with everybody, and I've heard so many parents just coming up to us and saying, thank you for having this because their kids have been home and cooped up at home for 3 months. Um, they haven't seen people, they haven't seen friends, but I mean, obviously, we still have to follow some rules, just social distancing. That's the hard part that I've noticed that was kind of hard to kind of deal with a little bit, but we have to keep working on it and reminding. It's hard to get a lot of these kids to kind of keep themselves away from each other, and the whole social distancing sometimes just doesn't work with them because when they see their friends, they tend to kind of just want to get close to them, give hugs, and you know just be happy.
They do. And that's the main thing is that one thing I don't know if we took for granted through this whole COVID, but definitely it's obviously we never thought about hugs, how important they were. But when something's taken away from you, you think, wow, I missed that, missed that, missed that. Like me, I miss, going wine tasting. I miss, having fine dining. I miss drinking an old fashioned. I miss all these great things because now I can't do it. I mean, I can do it. I don't want to go to a fine restaurant, sit outside. I just, no, it's hot. I just don't want to do that. But I
Yeah.
do miss it, but I'm okay, right? I'm able to survive and cope and do other things. So but it's really great when things that are kind of there on a daily basis. Like when you drive home, you don't think about driving home. You just know where you live at, and you just drive. But with something
Hmm.
taken away from you as you go a different direction, then that's when you have to use actually a thought process to think outside that. Makes the biggest
Yep.
difference.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of us recently have been, thinking about this too, where how we've taken a lot of things for granted.
Hmm.
We really have, and it's we've kind of learned from it, from being shelter in place for the last, few months.
It makes you wonder when you think about taking for granted. Okay, so if I'm unaware if I'm getting something, am I really taking it for granted? Like people say you missed hugs, right? So before we were getting the hugs, were you taking it for granted?
No.
So is it taken for granted if before you didn't think about it?
No, I mean, but maybe not hugs, but there's other things, right? For me, I was thinking about this recently too, just being outdoors. I'm not so much of an outdoor person unless there's activities or events like this, with the sport. But I've realized that just sometimes when we do the outdoor volleyball or the sand, and we, every summer that we do this, I don't want to be out there, and I'm always whining and complaining. I end up sounding like one of the kids sometimes, like, oh my god, it's too hot here, and I'm looking for the shade, and sometimes I don't even want to be out there and teach or coach. But after the last few months, oh my god, I was so happy to be out there, and I was enjoying it, and I was loving it. And I know it's hot, but there was a way, we could work around it. I've noticed that if you move around or there's little shade, just stand in the shade once in a while. But that's what I'm saying, is kind of taking it for granted. It was there, but I didn't take advantage of it at one point. I thought I hated it and I didn't like it.
So now, again, at that time, do you think you were taking it for granted?
It's a good question. I guess not.
Because you weren't aware. How are you even
Yeah,
aware of
yeah,
something if unless someone brings it to your attention?
yeah. That's true. That's a good question. Yeah.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is that taking it for granted, if I'm unaware of something, I'm not taking it for granted, right? Because you can power to, well, I took it for granted. Well, I wasn't aware of it. So how can I really take it for granted? So that way the word has literally no power or meaning over you to what you give it power and meaning.
So
Oh,
where is
yeah.
that word coming from then? When, like, I hear it a lot lately.
Because you're describing how you're feeling. So since I have a loss of something, I should have at that time, be it past tense, took it more as though I should did it more often. Now I don't have it. Now I think I took it for granted because I wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
So it's what I'm trying to say is that we give so much power to these negative words, taking it for granted. Oh, I should have done more of this. I should have done that. Why? Because you weren't aware of it at the time. At the time, you did the best thing you could, right? So if you really think about healing as a process in itself, if you say I took it for granted, no, actually I did the best thing I could at that time with limited amount of experience and knowledge. That sounds a lot better than say I take it for granted. So that way you have self care and self healing. That hey, I did the best thing I could then. Man, I wish I could have more of those, but I did the best thing I could at the time, being with my awareness. That's the beauty of just how you reframe words. Just like we talked about Ryan last week on judgment versus curiosity. Just change judgment and replace it with curiosity, and it would feel so much better.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we talked about that. I've actually been noticing how I'm a little bit more aware of the judgment and the curiosity now after
Hmm.
that. Um, I don't know if you've noticed that about yourself too.
Oh, now I'm realizing, man, I was judging everything around me. But you just like the guy, the next door neighbor, always sees trash out and on his front porch. Trash being like old shoes, the kids' bikes, empty water bottles, those 5 gallon ones, and plants. It's like, okay, can you organize a little more better? I don't want to see that. And realize, wait a minute here, I'm judging that. What if he doesn't have enough room in his house? What if he doesn't know any better that you shouldn't put it out there? 'Cause I don't like it. He just doesn't know it. So I said, Fooey, guess what? I gave it less power over me.
Yeah.
No, so like one thing that's happened good for me to this week. It's like several things happened, but I think the most thing that has happened, which happened just 2 hours ago, I shared it with you earlier, was the fact that so those are out there that don't know, I'm legally married. Okay, and I'm going to quote that legally married. So I got married when I was 21, and I'm still technically legal married. But we haven't seen each other, talked to each other in 13 years. We filed the paperwork for divorce, but at the time she was down in Southern California, I'm in Northern California, and things fall by the wayside. We didn't follow up. I wasn't persistent. She didn't follow up. It was supposed to be finalized like 13 years ago. I mean, that's when we got married. Was somewhere, I don't remember the date, anyways. Somewhere January, February, March 2007.
You kind of
Because
lose track.
I don't think I lost track. I don't think it was the right kind of marriage. I mean, it was just out of I want to marry her to keep her from cheating on me. That was the premise behind that. Okay, and what that means is that you can't control what someone does. So if someone's going to cheat on you or take for granted, and it's like women saying, "I'm gonna have a kid with this guy because I maybe straighten him out." Well, that's not true. If he's an asshole, he's gonna always be an asshole, regardless of kid or not. It's just now you got more of a struggle now with a kid if you want to leave.
Hmm.
So, we both were not. I think both we did the best thing we could, but there was a lot of polar pull. I moved to California, her kids, and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so we never finalized paperwork. So finally, I was able to hire a paralegal, and I was able to, I'm here, and thank God for COVID because people are laid off, right? So she is pretty much at home on EDD or furlough, and I hired a paralegal and get paperwork done because it's time to process this stuff. I mean, it's 13 years. I mean, who wants to keep this on the plate for 13 years? I mean, we never filed taxes together. We never lived together. I mean, it's just not a proper marriage, right? It's just not that. We don't have kids together. We don't have property together. There's no 401k plan. There's nothing we have together. So let's get off your plate, right? I was 21, I'm 37 now. So, being a young man, you make a lot of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it mistakes. You make best judgment with the limited amount of experience and insight at that time. So I don't never say mistakes. I didn't know any better. I don't regret what had happened. But finally, after me being extremely persistent the last 2 weeks, she got it signed. I emailed the paralegal. She got paperwork. Boom, we're ready to submit to the court. And hopefully pretty soon it'll be stamped and we'll be done. And that is the best news I can have because finally I took the bull by the horn. So it's really kind of one of those things. If you want something done in life, you have to do it yourself. All right. Because if I had kept relying upon her to file paperwork, because here's the thing is that when it comes to courts, I'm the respondent. She's a petitioner. So she actually filed it. So she has more rule than I do. I'm just responding to her. So if I didn't get her to sign it, it would never be processed fully and finalized. It'd just be thrown by the wayside. So it was really great news to hear that that got processed. It was kind of trying to figure things out. I guess she didn't have a scanner or a fax machine or whatever it was, couldn't get it done. So finally we got it done, and it's awesome, and I feel happy, and this is great. I think the second thing that's great for me is that I made some big decisions too. Outside that is that I hired a coach. And I always would tell people this. I believe in having a coach because a coach can give you a lot more insight than what you think. Even though I'm a coach, I always hire a coach if I can afford it and what I'm planning on doing at that time of my life. But it's great to have a coach. There's a lot of things you will learn that you don't know because obviously everybody's experience is completely different. Yes, I can go online and probably can research, find a lot of information, but it's sometimes too much information. I just want specific details, what can make my business better. And that's why I hired a mentor business coach in this case. That's great too. So I did that. What else have I done? Oh, third thing I've done is I talked about this before. Is I was working out of a gym, and because of COVID, gyms are closed. So I made the decision that I will not be going back to the gym. So to explain a little more detail, so I don't work for the gym. I'm a contractor training my clients out that side that gym. So it's like a nail salon or a nail place or a barber shop where they pay to rent that spot. So I was paying to rent the gym to train my clients there. But COVID's closed, gyms are closed, and in our county, they have no idea when we will open up for gyms, nail salons, and I think one or two other things. But hey, I made a decision. I'm moving on. I have my garage gym, and it's a great thing.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's a lot within the last just
4 days. So that's what it seems like.
yeah. And that's even just not going back to the gym is another big decision, right?
It
But
was.
yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you. It was. I was hesitant at first, but you know what? So this just comes to really a big pillar in life. When you're indecisive about a decision and you don't know what to do, a lot of times you just make the decision. Because usually it's something holding me back. So in this case, what's holding me back was what about my clients? What about the gym? I still wanted to train there. What about me getting more clients? It's a good marketing strategy, being at the gym, wearing my shirts and all this stuff. Okay, well, Ron, this is me asking me, what is your long-term goal? Is your long-term to be a trainer forever? No, it's not. Okay, perfect timing. But the idea was the fear of lack, which is not having what was coming in. So I'm used to being trainer the whole time. So it's an easy cycle. I'm new to the coaching. I'm definitely have some coaching clients. I love this. It's great. I research a lot about it. I'm spending a lot more energy about coaching and how to make myself better to help me make my clients better than I am about fitness and training.
Hmm.
That's just the bottom black and white line. And once you figure out that was the issue, then you make a decision because what do you want to do? Where you got to ask yourself, you're indecisive about a decision. What do you want to do? Forget all the negative options that your brain thinks about, right? What do you want to do? Bob, Billy, Sue, whoever it is, what do you want to do? I want to do this. Okay, then you made a decision. It's indecisive. Well, they call it the egos telling you no, no, no. Like in my case, don't do that because what about more clients? What about money? What about this? Always what if and what about? I just have to make a decision on my own. And when you make that decision, what happens, people don't understand, is you conquer a fear internally. What propels you forward to conquering more fears? See, every time I do something outside my comfort zone, you always hear about that outside your comfort zone. Outside, what is the comfort zone for you? No, we don't talk about that. And when you take that step outside the comfort zone, it allows you to then go forward more aggressively because nothing's holding you back, right? Because you're outside the
Mhm.
comfort zone. And that's where I now feel I'm doing what's right for Ron, what's right for the company, what's right for my future.
And you do feel it. You do feel that if you're doing something right for you, for yourself, your future, because sometimes it's just it's almost kind of like gambling too, just taking that chance. You're sitting there, you're wondering, but you don't know if you want to take the chance of moving forward or not.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but yeah, yeah. Well, congratulations. That is a lot within just the last few days that you've
It
done there.
really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. You know what? There's a lot of things going on right now in life. Especially COVID and and the protests and looting and what's going on in politics. And we have a job tomorrow, we'd be laid off, and there's just a lot of things happening. But you know, it's all about really what comes down to how you react to certain situations and what you tend to do with your life going forward, whatever it is, right? What situation you're dealing with. But what the lie told is there's nothing great happening right now. That's a lie. There's a lot of wonderful things happening right now,
You
right?
just have to really
Let
think, look, yeah, and let go.
less traffic on the freeways, more clean air. You know what? If you want to buy a house outside California, of course, this might be the best opportunity. If you want to take that risk or learn a new skill or investigate something or read more books, right now is the perfect time. Again, shelter in place. I've read 5 books, sorry, 6 books so far on my 7th book. That's a great thing. And my goal this year was to read 13 books. I'm on my 7th book, so it means once I finish this book, I'll be 2 books closer to finishing my goal for the year. For the year, and it's already June. That's a great thing because in a book there's a lot of knowledge. But I like reading books. This morning I've been up since 4:35 a.m. Bust open the book, start reading. I'm not reading an academic book for a test, right? These are knowledge-based psychology books that I really enjoy reading because the more I control uh, my subconscious mind, the more I can make things happen in my life just from the mind itself.
Yeah.
So I can control that.
Sometimes we hear about um, life's too short, right? And live your life or live in the moment. It is true. I think it is because you'll never really know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what tomorrow will be like for you. Um, and I do tell myself the same thing. Life is short. Just live your life. But really, what is really living your life is to you. We hear that so much out there. Just live your life. Just live your life. Life is too short. But not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody has that mentality.
You know what? You want to live the best life that you're capable of living, whatever capability it is at the point right now for yourself. I think what really boils down to a couple of different things at this point. How do you view time? Because time has no meaning, and universally, time doesn't exist. It's human beings that give presence to time. You also can say this: well, I'm here on this earth. I once I'm dead, I'm dead. I don't remember anything. Well, maybe your subconscious will live on. We don't know that. It's not proven or disproven. It doesn't live on. People talk about having out of body experiences, right? They talk about, I don't know if I believe in palm readers and all that kind of stuff. That's a little bit different than what I believe by being in spirituality. So what if conscious goes somewhere else? See, the best thing you can do with the life you have It's helping somebody else out with the life you have right now while you're alive. Because once you're dead, obviously, you can't help somebody else out. And the way to truly be free, it is self acceptance. The way to truly be free is get rid of any wants, desires, ambitions, all these things that create more friction and do good. To truly be free is to have self confidence. To truly be free is to be who you are. So if life is really too short, how many of us are not really being true to ourselves? Because if you want to live free, you got to get rid of those limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So truly, you could live free if you just did a few couple of things: self confidence, help the next person out, show love, spirituality, pray, be good. You truly live free.
And another thing I wanted to add to that too is just doing something that really makes you happy. And you'll feel that, you'll know it, you feel it in the heart.
You really do.
Yeah.
Giving back gives people more happiness than ever. One of my dreams on my list, whenever this happens, was I will be opening up a foundation. And the part of the foundation will be helping children and young adults that suffer from being overweight or obese. See, people don't realize when you have low or no confidence, it can manifest and go a lot of different directions in life. It can be low confidence inside because most people always say, have confidence, have confidence, have confidence. Well, damn it, how do you have confidence? How do you get confidence? We're not loaded with that software to have confidence as a kid or as born. We don't have that software. I always use the term software because we learn this stuff over time. It's like no exam. For example, no one's good at every single thing. You can't be good at math, English, and science. Yes, there's few of those out there that are extremely well at everything, but not everybody is. So that's really boils down to that factor right there. Speed you.
Mm-hmm. Um, I just thought about something. So I was watching this show for a while. You probably heard of it, and I know a lot of people have heard of it, called 90 Days Fiance.
Oh yeah, yeah. I seen it before.
Yeah, and there's a guy there. His name, they call him No Neck Ed.
Oh, with the Filipino lady that he met or something like that. Is that the guy?
Right, right. That's him. And he had this one part where he was talking about himself because he's always been made fun of, and just I it really how should I say this? Just listening to him kind of got me, because he was right about this. Growing up, he's never really had, like a happy childhood, right? He's always been made fun of. And to these days, even on TV, people make fun of him because they look at him, but they don't really know what he had gone through, the journey that he went through, and what
Mm-hmm.
he's experienced. And he talked about how he's learned to just love himself the way he is. And it was hard because he said something about there's nothing he can do about it. He was born like that. And he had to accept that and just love himself. So then people looks at him and views him like, oh my God, this guy is too much. He's too much about himself. He thinks he looks good. He thinks he's a man, but yet look at him. But he was so good at just kind of like ignoring all that, and just it still goes back to him because he said that he's learned so much, and what he had to go through, and just walk out there with confidence, and just learn to love himself. And I think that's another thing that we all have to learn from too, is acceptance, right? Acceptance, and just love yourself. I know it's hard. Sometimes for some people it's hard. It's acceptance part is always the hardest. But once you have that, then you kind of just learn to love everything around you, learn what you love about yourself. I think, and you're right, and just you'll be happy. You'll be free.
And that's what I want to talk about is that until Ed accepted himself and loved himself for who he was, I bet he missed out on a lot of great opportunities in life.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I wouldn't doubt that.
Right. So if you don't have confidence out there, you're dealing with things, you're missing a lot of great opportunities. But I didn't have my self confidence for myself. Mine was two opportunities, but more or less being in inappropriate, bad situations or friendships. Because I was so hungry trying to find acceptance, not self acceptance, that I would get with friends I shouldn't be with. I would try hard to fit in, or I'll try hard to be this woman, or I'll try this. And I'll try, I mean, everything I'll try because I wasn't satisfied with myself. So I always keep hungry and hungry for more satisfaction. And at the end of the day, when I was hungry for satisfaction, guess where I got? Nowhere but loose. That's the old saying. Nowhere but loose. I went nowhere because it didn't feel well and didn't feel good.
Yeah. I was the opposite. I wasn't where I was hungry for, let's say, for friendship, or I wasn't hungry for to have somebody. For me, I found, when I was younger, I found something that I really love to do. So I'm going to use volleyball as an example, right? All I wanted to do was play. I wanted to just be out there and play. And I got to a point as I've gotten older where I didn't care if I know anybody or not, but I wanted to just be there. I just want to play and have fun because it makes me happy. And then if there's drama, or if there's just anything between anybody in the team, I'm out of there. I move on to the next. I just want to go play. I step away from that, but I'm not going to say that it's always been perfect for me, but it does take a lot of practice of just kind of taking a little bit of step back and just think of what would be better for you and what's best for you, and then you move on.
Hmm.
And same thing, just like, going to um just, with the type of career I wanted, and even just going to college.
Look at that. See?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and a lot of it too is when, now that I'm older and I think about it, I think that something had always kind of pushed me to that path of where, so what, not, I'm not sure if it's really where I wanted to be at that time, but something was telling me to go towards that path because that's where my heart is, and that's what's going to make me happy.
Hmm. See?
you know
Awesome.
so it's two different stories, but I mean, it's cool. Either way, we've had a lot of lesson learned, and a lot of shifting there.
It was. I mean, but this is what helps people get over one thing, because we're all the same. We all have to confront certain issues, and till we are okay with saying, yes, I have low self confidence, but I want to be better. Yes, I have low self esteem, but I want to be better. Yes, I have all these desires, but I don't know what to do. Yes, I want so many things, but am I wanting myself more than I want the things that are outside me? Those are the questions you got to ask yourself. That's what develops a better overall well-being for you and what you want for your life going forward.
Hmm.
So, guys, this is something special today. This is like Freestyle Thursday. I don't know if we'll do it again, but it was cool to just talk about our day, talk about our week. We don't always have to talk about a topic, because what's great about just being freestyle, you can go a lot of different directions, and it can also give a great insight for you guys out there, or for us here for Glory and I. So, no, it was a pleasure. Thank you for listening to another episode of Life's a Shuffle. As always, you can find me under Ron Johnson Life Coach, Instagram, Facebook, and also LinkedIn. And my website is www.ronbusinesscoaching.com.
And today, we celebrate, right? We need to celebrate, just be out there and just be happy. Celebrate this week. Think of something that, I'm sure there's something that you can celebrate about, and just be positive. Like Ron here, all the good stuff that had happened for you in the past few days. So I wanted to congratulate you on that again. And again, with everybody else, there's something. Celebrate it and just be happy. Again, this is Gloria, your life coach. You can find me on my Instagram for motivation and inspiration. That's Gloria Life Coach, or www.glorialifecoaching.com. Again, thank you for tuning into another episode of Life's a Shuffle.